Hi, this is Adele, and today we are practicing, say, about lunchtime, a time that I'm used to practicing or teaching at. So if you are still trying to find a time that you would like to practice at a time that you have been used to. So if you have always been attending lunchtime classes, go with lunchtime. If you have always made a habit of waking up in the morning to practice, go with morning. So pick a time that works to your favor and it'll be easier to weave a yoga practice into your life. So we're starting from the ground today. So you can pick up a yoga block, okay, and just put it between your heels, okay, so you can sit back onto it. Some of us might require 2 blocks for us to find a very comfortable seat. Okay, so hero's pose, sitting on the block between your heels. Okay, you can roll out your calves to the side if it feels more comfortable. So today's focus, we are working with arm strength, which is pretty unconventional until we apply it to the fitness or in exercise or even in yoga regimes, where we start to bear weight on our hands and arms. So getting the arms strong will help us to keep our upper back free even while we bear weight. That being said, for those of us who are new, you need to be patient because your hands, your wrists may not be used to that body weight coming onto it. So be patient, dial back if you need to. I will advise you on how to dial back a little bit more if required. So comfortable seat in hero's pose where you allow your spine to find the mountain pose that we built on the previous session. So from here, your hands can be on thighs. You take the shoulders back a few times, just gently rolling them. And you can roll them forward a few times. Lift the shoulders to ears. Drop them. Lift the shoulders to ears. And exhale, drop them. Just take a few moments. Maybe close your eyes. Dwelling a little bit on the intention that we set for the class today. Strong arms, free upper back. Just finding the nice balance between the two today. So giving yourself a few more moments to breathe really comfortable in your practice. You can open your eyes when you're ready, and that's where you'll take a strap. So come up into high kneeling, so the same setup. Put padding below your knees if you need to. First, we prep the shoulders and the arms for us to bear weight well. So take a strap, okay, you can fold it into half and then a quarter. Take it about shoulder width apart, using your tips of the shoulders as a gauge. Pull the strap taut. Then with the strap taut, you want to do some shoulder action. Okay, lift the arms overhead and down. Inhale to lift and down. Inhale to lift, feel the stretch across the front. Exhale down. Lifting, inhale. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale down. Inhale. And down. Just take it back and up to the degree that works for you without tensing your jaws. Just a few more times, let it get more comfortable. And then hold it at the top, staying for Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, keeping the strap taut, Om 5. And slowly let the strap come down. Then you take the same arrangement to the back, so you can put the block to one side, take the strap to the back. So that's where you also pull the strap taut. You can slightly turn your fingers pointing in, or you can keep the wrist very stable. So while you move, you don't want to move the wrist too much. So keeping your facing forward, eye level, pull up to the degree that you can and lower down, lifting up and down. Inhale, exhale. Or just go with any breath pattern that works for you. So this angle will be much more limited in its range. So you want to keep the jaws relaxed and keep breathing. So once you feel that your chin juts forward, you're probably going a little bit too much. That's where you want to dial back. And then you pull it up and hold, breathing for Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, and Om 5. Slowly release. And then from there, take the strap back up. Here's where you can take the strap longer. I'm making it into half. Depends on the length of strap that you're working with. Take it up and back and forward, up and back. Feel a little stretch across the front of the chest, backwards. And then you take up and lean over to your right side. You can pull the back arm, the bottom arm a little back. Then from there, the top arm moves and up. You can turn to look across to the opposite side. The bottom arm is pulling at the back of the waist, open across the chest, down, and open, down, and open. Feel the side stretch. Come back and take the arms back up. Lean over to your left side. So one hand in front of your forehead, one arm at the bottom. Pull back and open your chest. Take the top fist over, overhead, behind the ear or next to your ears. The bottom arm is just offering a resistance. And slowly take your arms back up. That's where you can explore. Maybe you come down, see if you can go further back. Some of us can. Some of us, we may just have to content ourselves just staying in the mid-air for a while. Okay, so there's no pressure. You want to feel the wrists. You want to feel the chest spread open. Then from there, hold at a place where you can manage the resistance, staying for Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, and Om 5. Release. Then you can just roll the shoulders back and down. And maybe your breath out. Inhale. Okay, then from here we transit to the ground. So that's where we start to get a little bit more sensations. You can put the padding below your knee. Take your hands about shoulder width. You want to get a nice positioning. So your fingers spread. You want to press down into your palms, especially the first 3 fingers of each hand, and keeping the arms straight. So keeping the shoulders away from ears. Okay, keep the hands outstretched. You can tuck your toes under. Remove the spine first. So on this all 4 position, you point the tail, you stretch the belly and the chest. You tuck the tail, you hunch your back, and you stretch out the back of the neck. Point tail, stretch belly and chest. Tuck tail, hunch back, pressing the ground away from you. Maybe gently inhale. Exhale to hunch in what we call a cat pose. Inhale to stretch out the front body in cow, keeping the arms straight. And exhale, hunch to cat. Stay with this hunch position and notice if you can still breathe well. Look slightly forward for more neutral spine. Then you sit your weight back towards the heels. And shift forward either on top of the wrist or a little beyond if you want to explore. Shift backwards. And lean forward, bearing a little bit more weight on your wrist while keeping your arms straight. Lean back. Lean forward to the degree that you can. Lean back. And then just hold it here with the arms straight next to your ears. Breathe. So it's like building on the half downward dog that we did yesterday. We did the last series with your arms outstretched. Heels next to your arms, but your neck feels free to move. Come back onto all 4 hands and knees. Then with a very stable back, stable shoulder, you want to reach your right arm forward. Then find that balance as your left shoulder try to balance the weight. You can either be on 2 knees and 1 hand. If you want, you can act on the left leg going back. Then we find the balance in this extended cat. Staying for Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, Om 5. Good. Take the right hand down, take the left knee down. You can wriggle out your hips in your cat pose on all 4s. Just to move it a little bit. And slowly come back to middle, press down through the hands. Make sure your breath is still flowing very fluidly. Press down through the right hand, keeping the arm straight. Then from there, you feel like you push away from the ground, left arm go forward. You can be a little away from the ear if that's easier for you to breathe and stable. Then from there, shift weight left knee, option for right leg back. The right leg, you just have to keep the tight and knee straight to the best you can, staying for Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, and Om 5. Good. Take the hand down, the knee down, all fours, toes back. You get a little rest. Sit back onto your heels. It's an extended child's pose, but we want a little bit more rest. So we take the arms by the side of the body with the palms face upwards. The forehead can be shy of the ground or resting on the ground if it's pretty nearby. So this is child's pose, where you allow the back to stretch and the buttocks to go back to the heels to where you can. It's a pose that is really restorative, sometimes really good for managing headaches, but mainly sometimes we use it in a yoga class to help us to sneak in some rest. So you wriggle your fingers, relax the back of the hands against the ground, and feel your back like a nice tortoise shell. Soften your jaws. You can turn your face to one side to check that breath is going well. And then you can go to the second side. Stretch your arms forward, extended child's pose, which actually gives you an indication that we are ready to move a little bit more. Come back onto hands and knees. Hopefully the shoulders and the wrists are a little bit more primed up. Tuck your toes under. You want to tuck down into the pinky toe. And you can either stay here while you keep the belly nice and firm towards the center, or you can add on for those who are ready. And then you can lift the knees, hover the knees off the ground a little bit. There's that nice push away from the ground, slight gaze forward, staying for Om 1, Om 2, feel free to come down first if you need to, Om 3, Om 4, Om 5. Slowly drop the knees down. Take a moment, breathe, arching in cow pose and hunching in cat pose. Come back to neutral, coming from that foundation that we built just now. We're coming into our first downward dog, which is the inverted position. So you tuck your toes, you lift your knees afloat, but this time you push the buttocks and hips backwards, ears next to your upper arms. So you're working with your arms straight, you're pressing, but your butt and thighs is going back, so you get a nice long spine. Start to bend your knees one at a time, freeing out the back of the leg as you bear weight and add on an inversion in your upper body. So you start to pedal out and then you stretch the back of the legs like you are taking a walk on the spot. When you gaze back lightly, you check that your feet is comfortable distance apart, about 1 or 2 feet width apart or wider, and then you're stepping down the heels alternately. Check in on your breath. And then from here, slowly come on tiptoes, knees to ground, all fours. Toes back, sit back onto your heels, hero's pose. Then you're sitting on your heels comfortably. Take a while. Let your fingers be soft as you feel wrist circles to ease out. And counter the direction. And just open and close your fingers a few times. And then just shake out your wrists. We're going to come into that one more time as a practice. So very simple, cat-cow, and then downward facing dog before we come into more rest. So on all fours, hands and knees, check. Comfortable distance where you can push the ground away with straight arms. Slightly pinch the thumb and index finger. I know there's a lot of instructions to take in, so take in what you can. Okay, tuck the toes under for more support to going back. Okay, so inhale, stretch the belly and chest forwards. Exhale, tuck the tail and hunch your back. Inhale, arch in cow pose. Exhale, hunch in cat pose. Look slightly forward, tuck the toes, lift the knees, push the butt back and up like you're sitting on the back wall. Then from there, as your buttocks going up, your thighs going back, you're keeping the arms straight, you check your hands about still holding there nice and strong. Knuckles pressing down. Then from there, you can shift the legs straighter. Some of our heels will be up, while some of us, with our spine still long, we can get the heels quite close to the ground. So what happens is some of us will get the legs straight and hunch our back. No, you want to bend the knees first, get the spine first, before you explore with the legs straight. Then you want to find that balance between right and left, weight on hands and weight on feet, with the thighs and butt back. Then take 5 breaths here. Om 1, Om 2, Om 3. Ears are next to your upper arms. Om 4, Om 5. Slowly come on tiptoes, knees to ground, toes back, sit back, hero's pose. Take the arms, elbows on the ground in front of the knees. Catch your breath first. So down dog, an inverted position, which can be challenging if you're not used to getting upside down so much and with weight bearing on your hands. Then from there, let's take the arms stretched out. So it's like a down dog, okay, except that you're on your knees. Elbows are lifted. Take your left hand, thread it through the right arm, okay, right palm and right armpit, thread it through. Then from there, you just turn to look over to the right side. Sometimes I like to put a block or a towel below my left shoulder. Later you get another profile or left temple, sorry. Okay, which will help you. So you can snuggle in your arms, one forward, one outstretched, track the needle post. So release your forehead, the temple against the block, and release the outstretched arm. Take a few breaths as you let go of any belly tension, getting a little shoulder stretch. Press down through the right hand, unthread the left. Left hand forward, move the block a little bit more to the right. Right arm, thread through. Can be quite close to the knee. Then from there, you can help yourself with the block. Turn onto the side, the temple. As you turn your gaze slightly towards the outstretched arm. So some of our buttocks will be quite far away from the ground. That's fine. The breath to soothe, the back to round. Press down through the left hand so there's enough space for you to pull the right arm up. Then you come into sit onto your heels. We transfer the weight over to one side so you can sit onto the buttocks. And then from there, you bring your feet forward and you have your feet hip width apart right in front of you. You can step up towards the front of the mat. So feet hip width, hands behind you. And then you want to push down the arms to give a little release to your wrist. Your fingers can point out in a direction that you can push down. Your feet can step in if you can't feel the pressing down of the feet. Feel free just to broaden the chest here as your arms push straight. Those who like to, a counter pose. For the wrist, you press down the feet, lift the buttocks a little bit off the ground as in a hammock. Test if the weight works well for you. If it's too intense, come on down and just push down the palms. Those who feel alright, you want to add on a little bit of your back strength, okay, as well as a counter stretch for your wrist. Press down the feet, lift the buttocks like hammock. Once everything feels good to go, buttocks shift forward, press down the feet to lift up the butt. You can look straight forward, look up, or look back. Feel the chest opening, press down through straight arms. Then from here, Om 1, Om 2, buttocks towards the back of the knees, ribs go towards the hip. Om 4, Om 5. Slowly exhale down. Take your legs out forward, like we transited the past session. Take a big rock, or you can always help yourself down with your forearms. Roll the rock into your body, scooping your belly, keeping your breath fluid. As you slowly roll down, take your arms out and give yourself a little stretch. Slowly take your legs to be that same hip width as you did just now. Hands beside you this time. So this can be a nice replacement for the tabletop pose if that was tricky for your arms or shoulders. So your feet comfortable distance, hip width or wider. Hands pressed down, tops of the arms pressed down. You can always put a padding below your head if that's more comfortable, especially if your chin is tilting upwards. Otherwise, back of the head pressed down, feet pressed down. Then from there, press down the feet. Feel same thing as in a hammock. All's good, breath flowing. Shift the buttocks forward towards the back of the knees and press down to the tops of the upper arm, reaching your fingers forward. Press down to lift up. Then the back of the neck is long. Then you breathe here. So feel free to come down and adjust again if anything feels a little bit uncomfortable and you need to sheath. Okay? Bridge pose. A pose to stretch out the front and strengthen the back body. So stretching out the chest, especially after bearing weight on your strong upper arms. Slowly from there, exhale, let the butt drop down to the ground. Open your hands a little wider. Open your palms towards the ceiling. Feet a little wider. Let your knees hang towards the center. Take a few quiet moments. Allow the inhale to travel deep into your belly. And exhale, a soothing rest of your back against the ground. Inhale. Tops of the shoulders are soft, chest feels bright from armpit to armpit. Exhale. You can feel free to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. I like to do that to reset everything. Just a few times rolling across the ankle. Then from there you can come back to this pose, or you can stretch your legs out forward, settling yourself in Shavasana. So corpse pose, which we covered yesterday. So it can be a pose for you to rest into. So just close your eyes. Let your attention rest with your breath. And then spend the next few minutes all to yourself. Enjoy your rest. Namaste.